Let me guess, you think strength is winning every argument and never backing down. But real power is actually choosing love when your ego wants to win. Your ego tells you that backing down is weakness, that admitting fault gives your wife power over you, or that somehow apologizing makes you a loser, or that showing vulnerability means that you're not a real man. So you fight. You fight to win instead of fight to understand. You defend your position instead of defending your marriage. You protect your pride instead of protecting your connection with her. And you call it strength. See, but my brother, this is what real strength looks like. It's choosing love when your ego is screaming for vindication. It's saying, I was wrong, when every fiber of your being wants to prove that you're right. See, but that's real confidence. When you stay present, when your wife is emotional, instead of shutting down to protect yourself, that's real confidence. That's not weakness. It's the hardest thing a man can do because it requires you to die to yourself, to let your ego lose so your marriage can win, because you have nothing to prove because you know who you are. So many guys are focused on not letting their wives control them when their egos are controlling them. They think they're being strong and independent. They're actually slaves to their need to be right constantly, to look good, to never appear weak, to have everybody validate their self-image. And you're not free when you can't apologize. You're not powerful when you can't admit fault. You're not strong when you can't handle your wife's emotions without getting defensive or reacting. Real power is emotional regulation. It's not letting other people's reactions control your reactions. Real strength, my brother, is choosing your response instead of being hijacked by triggers all day long. And I know because I've been there. So many other brothers have. So many guys have it backwards. They think the way to avoid giving up their power is to never give in, to never admit fault, to never show vulnerability. So they get rigid, defensive, and just shut off. And here's the irony. It gives their wife complete power and control over them, because now every conversation becomes about managing her reactions. Every interaction becomes about protecting your ego. Every conflict becomes about proving that somehow you're not weak or inadequate. They're so busy trying to control how she sees them that they've lost control of who they actually are. But the men who are truly free are the ones who can say, you're right, I messed up, without their identity crashing to the ground. The guys who can stay calm when she's upset without taking it personally. The guys who can be vulnerable without needing her to validate their strength. They know who they are. You see, love is the hardest thing because it requires you to care more about the relationship than about being right. It requires you to choose connection over control, understanding over winning, growth over your ego. That's why Christ was so powerful. He was multidimensional. He could flip the tables and wash the feet. While he was on the cross, he could have turned it to scorched earth. He could have eviscerated everybody right there, but he chose not to. What did he say? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So many guys spend their whole lives, their whole marriages trying to be who they think their wife wants them to be instead of becoming who God created them to be. They just perform instead of transform. They manage her perception instead of changing their reality. But the strongest men, the ones with the deepest marriages, the ones who've learned that real power comes from choosing love when everything in them wants to choose pride, they're the ones that win. And if you're ready to discover what that real strength is and what it feels like to choose love over your ego, connection over control, reach out to us at Beyond Driven about the Total Breakthrough Academy so you can become truly powerful by learning to love without conditions or defenses. You're meant for so much more, brother. Show up for yourself. You deserve it.